I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green, and I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit, cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly, better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder, and I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice-a-week long-form podcast, because I want to talk to the individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve, so you can take that, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. It's one of the many, many reasons why I probably fly this American flag behind me every single day, because I'm living my American dream, and I want to help each and every one of you live yours as well. It is Friday, Freight Friday, fuck it Friday, however you want to call it. It's Q&A day, though. That's what comes along with this gorgeous, sunny, amazing holiday weekend that we are on. It is Q&A day. So if you have any transportation sales or operations related questions, drop them in the chat. I'll answer it live on the show. I got a couple of people who DM me. I'll lead in with those questions, but you guys have any, obviously drop them in the chat. I'll answer them live on the show. But before we do anything, as always, you guys, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub, vhubapp.com. Whether you're a broker, carrier, or shipper, I believe we all enjoy making money, because that's what you get with VHub. You get an opportunity to jump on there, reposition somebody else's trailers, and get paid to do it. That's right. That's on top of the revenue that you can get by loading those trailers out. So they got a bunch of stuff out in San Diego, you guys, and they got them going to Maquoketa, Iowa, San Diego to Maquoketa, Iowa, and you get $1,800 per trailer. These are 48-foot roll-up dry vans, you guys, $1,800 per trailer. And then they also have San Diego going out to Mount Crawford, Virginia. You get $1,530 to move that one, and that is with a swing door dry van, you guys. And then they also have some ones in Evansville, Wisconsin, needing to go to Mississauga, Ontario, and you get $500, not my bad, $500 US to move those trailers, you guys. So hit them up, vhubapp.com. My man, Zach Lonergan and Stacy Steen, they will be in the audience. Just do me a favor. Let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Tony Darnell, happy Friday, Convoy investors. I'm actually going to talk about that here. I was going to throw in a little article because Tracy St. Clair, good morning on YouTube, as always. Thank you for tuning in, Tracy. Sunny Sharma, let's go. Good Friday morning. AZ Dispatching and Freight Services, LLC, what is going on? Thank you for tuning in. Carlos Toomer, good morning, people. Let's go. Stephen Thompson, good morning. Bill McIntyre, good morning. Ibi Love Jones, good morning. TGIF, LinkedIn user, what's up, playa? I don't know who you are, but that's awesome. April Maroney, what's up, April? Thank you for tuning in. As always, Corey, TGIF, Zena, happy Friday to you as well. Yeah, I just got this. Robert Blake, good morning, sir. I got that article sent over to me, and man, it's crazy to see I truly feel everything with Convoy being in the news lately, and this one as well. I truly feel for them. I really do. As a business owner myself, I could not imagine being in the headlines like they have been in here recently, and probably what's going to come about from this. It's wild. It really is. And the article that I'm going to talk about here quick, it was on FreightWaves, and it was Convoy is cut off by OTR Solutions. And then it goes to say the depressed freight market has cut into freight brokers' margin dollars per load. The factoring company, OTR Solutions, has put Convoy on its do not buy list, indicating that it will no longer pay carriers for Convoy loads. Small carriers and owner operators using that use factoring companies to get paid immediately for hauling shipments. The factor buys the invoice from the carrier and collects from the broker. Later, the factor has to assess the creditworthiness of the brokers whose payments it's buying. And that's where the trouble is. In a phone conversation with FreightWaves, an official at OTR Solutions confirmed that this screenshot posted by the Freight Facebook group Rate Per Miles on Masters on Thursday was authentic, that they are no longer approved. And then it had said that OTR official said they asked Convoy to pay down an outstanding balance of $800,000, but Convoy said it would not. Then OTR asked for financials as part of its standard procedure to assess the health of the company, and Convoy would not provide that information. Convoy said that it's current on all payments to OTR and is reviewing the new payment terms requested. The OTR official explained that since Surge Transportation bankruptcy, which listed more than a dozen factors as creditors, factoring companies have had no choice to protect themselves against what he called bad business. A few weeks ago, obviously FreightWaves reported about what Convoy hired as an investment company, to advise them on strategic interests, including a possible sale. And FreightWaves has requested comment from Convoy and will update this. And then there was an update to the article that OTR Solutions Vice President of Credit and Legal Affairs provided further details on the factor's decision. We asked them to provide financials and expedited payment terms for us to continue extending credit. The decision was made based on our credit review of the account and current market conditions. Yeah, it is. It's not looking good. And again, I'm just reporting this based on the article that somebody had sent me from FreightWaves about this. And again, I just, as a business owner myself, I couldn't imagine being in that position. And it's not looking the best right now. It's not looking the best out there for Convoy. And it's probably, I'm assuming they used more than just OTR. I'm assuming, I don't know if they're going to publicly talk about it, but it's probably only a matter of time before they you're going to see this from other factoring companies. It's sad to see, though. It really is, because again, I couldn't imagine being in that position as a business owner and having that happen, and what is going on out there. But yeah, it's nuts. It really is. It is. Let me see here. Catherine D. Let me see. John Radvansky, or excuse me, Catherine D says, good morning. Cody Kaler, what's up? Let's go. Happy Friday. John Radvansky, have a nice long weekend. Freight Freaks, Thomas Weeder and Freight Morning, y'all. And yeah, it is crazy news out there. Adolfo Rodriguez, now we get those answered. It is Friday, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Thomas Weeder says, breaking per report, OTR and Convoy have reached out with a joint statement saying they have resolved their misunderstanding and have asked the story to be taken down, and it has been. And Convoy is now current with all payments. Good. That's really good to see. I'm glad to see that. That's awesome. On to the next one, you guys, because that is what it is. I just wanted to bring that up. And yeah, fuck it. We're going to go on to the next one. And we're going to get into some Q&As, because that's what this is all about. Q&A day, because that is Friday. There was another one. I had a question about layoffs that came through, and was I expecting if there was going to be more, and kind of like asking what my prediction was on what was going on out there. There was another article that broke about a large broker that was going to do that. I'm not going to talk on that one. I'll save that for Monday, because I want to read into it more. But there's a lot of uncertainty, you guys. There's a lot of uncertainty, and what's crazy is when in 2020, when this all this shit started of me doing the stuff on my own, I did it because nobody was hiring. I did this. I started this because I had resigned from my job because I wanted to try something else, learn the asset side, and I resigned from my job. And then that one weird thing that came out of somewhere and shut down the world happened, and I found myself in a pretty peculiar situation, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because that's what got me doing this. A lot of what we're seeing right now, though, screams history repeating itself, because that's kind of what was going on during 2020s. Everybody was fucking laying everybody off. And then there was a lull, and then the freight market picked up, and then everybody mass hired. And now it seems like we're seeing the reality of that overhiring and the fall in demand is coming to light. So with a lot, I'm never, because I just feel for people. I feel for people who are out of jobs because I've been out of a job before at the beginning of a pandemic. And not everybody's going to take the path that I took about just saying, fuck it, I'm sick and tired of relying on other people. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to create my own thing, and I'm going to never rely on that ever again. And here we are. And I know not everybody's going to take it from that position, but I rest assured, there are still companies who are hiring. There are still companies who are going to grow through this time. I'm going to be one of them. We're going to be hiring here probably sooner than later. But I think that for the most part, we need, if you're in that position, if you're at some of those companies that are in the headlines now with some pretty unfavorable things, I would get ahead of it now if you're looking to make a change, because I think it's a lot easier to find a job when you have a job as opposed to looking for a job because you're out. And then it's going to be a little bit more challenging from that perspective. But, I also think of it like this too. There's no better time than now. If you've ever thought about starting something, right? Starting something as your own, there's no better time than now to get out there and do your thing and get out there on your own and start your business. If you want to go out and start your own trucking company, do it. Don't pay attention to anybody else who says not. Don't let their small minds affect you from achieving your dreams. Same thing. If you've been a broker for somebody else for a long time, there's no better time than now to start. There are ways that you can do it, i.e., I'm an agent with SPI Logistics, right? And they're a phenomenal, I got a direct deposit from them this morning. I get paid every single Friday from them. They provide the infrastructure of my business. They handle all the back office so I can focus on bringing maximum value to my customers and my carriers that I work with. There are alternative options out there than going and working for somebody else. You can take it on yourself and do it. Do it. Start now. Don't wait. So that's kind of my opinion. I'm not going to go into it too deep on anything further than that, because again, with companies laying people off and everything else, out of respect for the individuals who might be out of a job, I'm not going to say anything further than that, except for go for what you want right now. Go for what you want right now. And we'll leave it at that. And I will always give, and that's another thing too, you guys, and I may not have said this a lot, but my platform is for the people, right? I'm just out here trying to do my thing. Sunny Sharma, Zems is teaming up with another great company, and we're an onboarding agents. Give them a call. And then I think that anybody out there who's hiring, if your business is hiring and you're on this show and you're watching, drop it in the chat. All right. Because I might not be for everybody in regards to, finding a job, but utilize this platform, you guys, to put that stuff out there. If you're looking for a job and you don't want to do that, DM me. I will put you in contact with the best recruiter in the industry who can assist you. I will put you in contact with my friends that I know are hiring right now as business owners as well. I am here to help in any way I can. I might not be able to respond right away, but I will get around to it and I will do that. I want to use this platform to better people's lives. And that's it. That's all this platform is for at the end of the day. So if you're hiring, put that in the chat. If you're looking for a job and you don't want to put that in the chat, DM me. I will put you in contact with people. Okay. Adolfo, if you ever thought of starting your own, the time is now. Starting today is always better than tomorrow. 100% agree. Joseph Metten says, loving the confidence to win. Thanks for the motivation. Joseph, I just know, here's the one thing I'm confident in. I'm never going to fucking quit. All right. I'm going to keep showing up every fucking day. I got a family to feed, gladly. And I'm living my dream. And this isn't a hobby to me. I take this shit very, very, very seriously. And I will do everything to make sure that my wife and my son are taken care of. A to Z Dispatching and Freight Services LLC with their question. Again, you guys, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I'll answer them live after I take a sip of coffee. As a new broker, how can we secure funds for payroll? We have looked into opening a line of credit. We bank through, we utilize Chase Bank. I utilize Chase Bank for literally everything because I've just had the best experience with them. I'm not advocating for anyone in particular. This is just who I've worked with. Securing a line of credit with them, and you can run payroll through that. I utilize a service called Gusto, Gusto, that I run my payroll through. I pay for that. And you could probably set all of that stuff up in today's day and age with the integrations and everything. You could probably set that up through your bank and have an integration with Gusto to run your payroll through that. Or QuickBooks has an option. I utilize QuickBooks for my bookkeeping and everything. And then there's on top of that, I would look in, I don't know of any, I don't know if some of the payroll processing companies that are out there offer funds to run through that, but I would look at trying to secure a line of credit for your bank. It is, if you have revenue and if you're working with a bookkeeper right now, have them provide your P&L statement so you can provide that to the bank to show actual revenue coming in, because it's going to be easier for you to get funding that way. It took me probably 17, 18 months in business and showing actual revenue before I was able to get approved for a business credit card. I haven't, that was the route that I had taken with that. It took a while and I still had to put a personal guarantee on top of that. But now, fortunately, with my business growing, I'm getting offered lines of credit with that. So that's where I would start. If you have a business banking account, I would start with your bank that you're already using, because they already have the proof of transactions and everything coming through. And I would start there. If somebody else has better advice out there who's been doing this for longer than me, please let me know. Again, I'm just letting everybody know from my current experience level where I would be. Yeah, the stats show mom and pop truckings are growing. I broke that article down the other day. The only thing that I thought that was misleading about that is mom and pops have dominated the market for a very, very long time. This isn't anything new. It's good to see that there's more growth in that sector because, again, I'm all about the little guy. I'm all about people putting their dreams on the line and to make their shit happen, to fight tooth and nail to make those dreams come true. But yeah, I love seeing it, Joseph. I absolutely love seeing it. All right. Next question I got. How do I handle the question when you're dealing with a driver? How do I, that I need more money? And this one was phrased, I kind of summarized this one. This one was phrased after the fact of them accepting the rate and then doing the load. And then after the load delivers, asking for more money at that time. I think it is completely circumstantial on that. Obviously, I paid attention with my loads. I paid attention. If there is a verifiable case that the driver was waiting for a long time, I don't wait for my customer to approve detention. I paid attention first, and then I will get the money from the customer after the fact. If that is just somebody saying that they need more money for the sake of needing more money because they thought the load was harder than what they had anticipated, I can't pay extra for that at all, especially if they got loaded and offloaded in a timely manner. Everything's on the rate confirmation. We have the conversation with every single driver that we book on the front end. If it's a multi-drop, what the commodity is, how many people, all of that is taken care of on the front end. I can't do anything about that at that time because I've had, because the market's tough, and I see a lot of that happening more now than in other markets of, hey, I agreed to take this load at this, and I did this load, but now I want more money. I've seen that happen. I just don't necessarily agree with that tactic because I move real freight. I don't have a facade book of business. I have real customers that I work with every single day. And I feel like if you agreed to do a rate and you knew about it, everything on the front end, that's your agreement. But if things change in transit, yeah, then there's a case there for additional funds. But if you take a shipment, and I feel the exact same way for the brokers who quote loads to shippers for, say, $1,300, and then they find out that they're going to pay $1,300 or $1,400, and then they go back to their customer to try and get more money out of it. That's not the customer's fault to pay you more money because you misquoted it. At the end of the day, you got to have that accountability factor on there. So that's kind of my opinion on it. I just don't believe in doing that stuff. I don't. If there's a real case for detention or a layover or something like that, 1000%, I'm going to get that driver additional money every single time. But if it's just somebody saying, I need more money for the sake of needing more money, I don't fuck with that. Just like I will never go back to my customers and ask for more money if I quote them a load and I'm wrong. I will eat that. That's my responsibility. It's not my customer's problem at that point. So that's my opinion on that. Now let's see here. What else we got going on here? I had another really good question. Let me see here. I got a new customer. How do I stand out on my first shipment? That was another one. I actually had a new customer this week that we moved freight with, 2 loads to be exact. Sorry about that. You want to know how I won those loads? A, because I'm really fucking good at my job and I look really good through the phone because I got a face for radio. I bid and won that rate through these guys up here. Sorry, green screens. That's who I use. I use green screens literally multiple times a day, every single day to quote out all of my loads. And that's how I won those 2 loads, is to provide them with accurate pricing out there. So greenscreens.ai/freightcoach, or hit up your boy. I'll put you in contact with them. But that's literally who I use for them, because I landed a new customer this week. We moved a couple of loads, but they want to stand out on their first shipment. Communicate. Sounds easy, right? But it's true. When you get loads, because I personally think throughout my career, it takes probably 5 to 10 shipments with a specific customer to really get in a good flow state with them, because we don't know how they're going to operate. They don't know how we are going to operate, but communicate no matter what. I like having brutally honest conversations on the front end with everybody that I work with. And I think that, if it's, one pick, one drop, I'm calling ahead to the facility, the pickup facility, the receiving facility. I'm giving ETAs. I'm giving accurate information. I'm finding out, because I move open deck and heavy haul. Obviously, Freight Coach Logistics is the top open deck broker in North America. You won't be able to convince me any differently of that. But I call ahead. I make sure, hey, our driver's coming in on a flatbed. Can you offload a flatbed? Do you have the right equipment? Does my driver fit inside of your facility? I will also get the name of the person that I'm talking to, and I will give them constant updates throughout transit. Same thing with the shipper. I want to make sure, obviously, if it's picking up and it's just flatbed, chances are they're expecting a flatbed. But I want to find out, hey, how do you want me to communicate with you? I can give you an hour heads up of when the driver is emptying on the way. I'll keep you in the loop on that. And communication is everything. Verifying pieces as well. If it's 8 pieces, make sure that there's 8 pieces loaded on that truck. If it ends up that there's 9, we got to talk to the shipper and find out, hey, was this piece added on? What is, if it's a multi-stop load, what stop is this getting offloaded at? And then communicating all of that. And then that just constant communication. I think that's always going to be the greatest separator out there. Because for me, that's what really makes the biggest difference out there. And I'm just saying that from, again, take this for what it's worth. I'm just a real person who's building up their company and documenting the journey for you guys live through social media. Communication has been the number one thing that has been communicated with, sorry, there's no other way to put it, from that new prospects and customers, is just, please let us know what's going on with our freight. And I think that is what the great separator is because no matter what, everybody understands that things go on. And I think that getting ahead of it, because, here's another thing too, the more freight that you guys move, there's certain areas of the country that have length laws on the trailers. You can only bring 48-foot trailers into those areas, like in California, Northern California, for example, north of the Bay Area, on closer to the coast, you can only run 48-foot trailers on those roads due to a length law out there. And there's a couple of other ones too in some other states. I don't have them in front of me right now, but that one sticks out. Knowing a lot of that stuff. And then especially if you are moving over-dimensional loads, for example, knowing what state laws are out there on those shipments. And I think having those conversations, right? Because a lot of a lot of customers, at least in my experience, have told me, hey, we're a manufacturer. We're not a freight company. They expect us to know that stuff. And you should, right? If you're going to be moving freight on the freeways, you better know the laws, the rules, and the regulations. What's easy about this, you can go to a little website called the Department of Transportation and find out fucking all of this stuff. Let me see here. Any more info on, but that's my answer to that question about what I would do with the new customer to separate myself. More info on green screens. Yeah, they're a pricing platform out there. I use them literally every single day. Yes, they are an advertiser on this show, but I am partnered with them for a reason. Kevin was on the show on Monday, and again, they're committed to improving the industry, and I am all about that. But I use them multiple times a day, every single day. That's what I'm winning all of my freight on right now, is with using them. Thank you, Steve Hunt, for putting that in the comments. I appreciate that, sir. Adolfo says, do you have a standard letter of instructions that ask all these questions about the shipment and how it will be loaded and unloaded and what the customer requires for their commodity, tarps, chains, etc.? I have all of that in my head. Fortunately, and my business partner is going to hear this and it's going to attack his ego, but that's fine. My business partner documented all of this stuff, Adolfo. So we spent the first couple of months of our business as we were prospecting and building everything and we're not moving freight. We spend all of that time, and we still spend all of that time on the infrastructure of our business, because I know one day in the near future, we're going to be $100 million operation. I know in a couple of years after that, we're going to be $1 billion operation. And I know that we needed to document everything and put all of those processes in place. I look at it as a commodities perspective. So obviously I move all open deck and heavy haul freight and some dry van freight as well. But I know commodity building materials, for example, if you can't load it on a Conestoga, they need to be tarped. There's probably going to need to be edge protectors. They're going to need to have straps with that stuff. I also know that for the most part, outside of delivering into a warehousing style facility, the drivers are going to need personal protective equipment, hard hat, safety vest, long pants, closed-toed shoes, eye protection. I'm going to make sure all of my drivers have all of that stuff in their truck prior to arriving. And then I call and communicate that stuff as I'm talking to shippers and receivers. Does the driver require PPE? Do you want the driver to show up? Because like with some of the tarp loads, that's one thing too. Sometimes the drivers, when they check in, they start untarping the load. Some receivers don't want that. They want to actually be there to see that the load is fully tarped upon arrival. Then the driver can start breaking down that load. I've learned that the hard way at some of those facilities. And then another thing too, I've also learned that it starts to rain unexpectedly in some places. And if the driver starts untarping and it starts raining and they're not available to offload them right away, kind of fucks with some stuff. So I like to find out a lot of that stuff. When it comes to the commodities of coils, for example, got to have that shit chain, got to have, if you have coil racks, awesome. If you have dunnage to block and brace those coils from moving, even better. And then also construction equipment, that stuff needs to be chained. I want to make sure that if it is construction equipment, that they have a ramp to load and offload, or if I need to organize a step deck with ramps to be able to come in and load that commodity. So that's just a couple of those pieces, Adolfo, that I go through my checklist of every single time. I go in there and I have those questions asked. And a lot of that comes with experience, man. I've been doing that. I jokingly say I've only done 3 truckloads in my career, but I've been doing this a lot. I've done a lot of job site deliveries. I've done a lot of crane loading and offloading and stuff like that. So to me, it's just ask everything on the front end. I don't think you're ever going to be punished for asking these questions up front, man. I really don't. No matter what, even if you don't know, ask. Like I still do that, right? If there's something that comes about, I would rather ask and be certain on how to do it in the moment than assume and then have that burn me or burn the driver or the customer and have that affect their relationship with their customers. So hope that answered it for you, man. But wow, that was a quick one. That's going to be it for today, you guys. And yeah, we'll be back on Monday. We'll have some articles on Monday. Hold on, let me check my calendar right now. I don't think no, because Monday's a holiday. So I will be going solo on Monday, on Labor Day, because I'm going to go live, because I'm going to be moving freight. And like I say all the time, if I'm moving freight, you guys are moving freight. And if that happens, I'll be going live. But that's going to be it for today. And as always, you guys, if you guys got value in what you heard here today, subscribe to the show. All right, that's all I can ask from you guys. Subscribe to it. And if you want to share it with somebody, that would be awesome, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Have a happy and safe holiday weekend, and we'll be talking to you soon.